Hello, and welcome to my meander for this week. On Saturday, the coronation of King Charles III was broadcast across the world. Perhaps it was not greeted with such enthusiasm as that of his mother some 71 years ago, but nonetheless, millions of people tuned in to all or part of the event. As I watched the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, trying to place the heavy crowns on the heads of the King and Queen, I found myself thanking God that it was not me having to accomplish such a task. Can you imagine if either one of them had fallen to the ground or come crashing down later during the procession out of Westminster Abbey? In the days following, two thoughts have struck me about the events of Saturday. On Sunday, I became involved in a conversation with someone who told me that he doesn't go to church very often. We were both visiting another person who is unwell. As often happens, we began to chit-chat, and the matter of the coronation came up. The person with whom I was talking was amazed at the magnificence of Westminster Abbey, its size and its beauty, and somehow moved something within him. He was also fascinated by the question of how medieval masons with rudimentary tools could have constructed such a building. This type of reaction was, of course, what the builders would have been hoping for. There's a sense in which they were pointing to the magnificence and overwhelming nature of God in the building that they had made. Very often today, we concentrate on the God of small things. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yet it does us no harm to recall the vast and mysterious nature of God, the God who is so much more than we can ask or imagine. During the coronation, the theme which King Charles wished to emphasize became clear, namely that of service. It can be difficult for us to appreciate how a monarch serves. After all, they're somewhat isolated from the rest of us, living a life we cannot begin to imagine. In the weeks after the death of the late Queen, the one aspect of her rule which was mentioned many times was her desire to serve, and clearly King Charles has picked up on that. In the UK, on Monday of this week, people were encouraged to engage in helping their communities. Members of the royal family joined in. You may have seen little Prince Louis driving an excavator. We may dismiss such a thing as a merely symbolic act with no substance. Yet these things are important as they can inspire people to further acts of service for the benefit of others. In the coronation liturgy, the king asked that he might be a servant as Jesus was. Perhaps that should be our prayer too. Once again, thank you for listening. God bless, and I hope to see you again next time.